Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Lawn Chair Sports. We're back in the backyard, sponsored by Surfside. We're jumping right into it. Thunder blew it in Game 7, and I think the Thunder's window is officially closed.
Yeah, the window is closed, and when it's all said and done, we're going to look back at this Thunder group. They're going to have one championship, and it's going to have a giant asterisk next to it because last season, they did not go through a tough road. They played the Indiana Pacers, took them to 7 inexplicably, and the Pacers would have won had Tyrese Halliburton not gone down with injury. And we look back at this Thunder team, we're going to think about flopping more than we think of their pathetic NBA Finals celebration last June.
Yeah, and I think one of obviously the biggest stories of the series was Chet Holmgren just absolutely disappearing. He was basically the Houdini of the series. And, you know, if you guys have been following Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren for a while now, there's a rivalry there, and one of them admits to having that rivalry, and the other one pretends like it doesn't exist. Chet Holmgren has been interviewed and asked about this rivalry, and he comes out and says, this isn't a rivalry, seems like a nice guy, blah, blah, blah. Wembanyama gets asked the same question. He basically says, I'm not even going to say that guy's name. I have nothing to say about him. So 2 different intakes, and then we watched just a grown man in Wembanyama basically emasculate this guy in Chet Holmgren. And Chet Holmgren had an all-time bad game. One stat that stuck out to me, over 30 minutes played, he's the first player in NBA history to have less than 2 attempts for field goals. That is insane. That guy is out there for 30 minutes, one of their offensive stars, and doesn't even put up points. He was playing scared.
Yeah, 1 for 2 is a wild stat line. It's almost like if he had a terrible shooting night and went 1 for 16, that would be less stunning.
Correct.
It's like, how do you only shoot the ball 2 times in the entire game? For a while, I thought the Wemby versus Chet rivalry was just something the media was pushing because it's like, oh, Western Conference contenders, 2 tall, skinny guys. It's like they're just trying to make up a rivalry. But yeah, whenever they ask Wemby about it, he's like, no, I fucking hate that guy. I want to kill him.
Literally.
Chet is just like, oh, geez. I mean, I don't know. I don't want trouble with anyone. You know, I'm not really looking to make rivals. It is just Wembanyama stole Chet Holmgren's soul in this series. It's honestly crazy this Game 7, the Thunder were even in it down the stretch. You know, 2 shot attempts, 4 points from Chet Holmgren, who is supposed to be the second best player. Jalen Williams hasn't been healthy. How do you even keep it to a 6-point game? Like with such a no-show from your supposed second best player.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty impressive that they did that. I mean, another thing that we need to talk about in this series, because obviously Chet was an absolute no-show, and that really ruined the Thunder's performance. You know, but the other thing I wanted to talk about is this Shai Gilgeous-Alexander stuff. Obviously, we've been talking about it on the program, is his flopping is getting out of control, and it's no longer just an observation that some people in the league and NBA are making. Fans are now irate about it. It's almost become unwatchable NBA TV, and the stats back it up. You told me a stat that I just could not get over. I got to hear this.
Yeah, 137 shot attempts in the series for Shai. He fell on the ground 47 times. That's about 34.3%.
Yeah, and so compared to his counterparts, probably the other 2 biggest quote-unquote like floppers or people who fall with somewhat percentage is Jalen Brunson and Wembanyama, but they're in like the 10 to 12% range. So it literally, he's about 3 times the closest flopper in the entire league, and it's starting to show. So hopefully Adam Silver can do something. But I will speak to the camera here when I say that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder are complete and utter bitches. I mean, this series just proves it. I mean, you have Shai flopping on everything. You have Chet Holmgren refusing that he's in a rivalry with Wembanyama and playing like a little bitch. And then you have the rest of the Thunder just playing fucking scared the entire series. I mean, Williams was like sitting out some games, playing others. You got to play through it, and especially in that. I feel like they thought they were going to come into this playoffs and just absolutely steamroll everyone, and then it's guaranteed that they're going to win a championship every single year. And this is why when we watched Kobe do it in those era with Shaq, we watched LeBron do it with the Heat, every year, even in those years, we thought that those teams would win the NBA championship, and then teams like, you know, the Dallas Mavericks would come out and win, or the Pistons would come out and win. It just goes to show you that nothing is guaranteed in the NBA, and it's very, very hard to win championships. And when you have that kind of mentality and attitude like the Thunder being a bunch of little bitches, it's not going to make it in this league.
Yeah, I just can't stop going back to that week celebration when they won Game 7 of the finals last June. Part of me really thinks that the reason the celebration was so toned down is that they thought, all right, that's great, we got our first, but we're going to be having a bunch of these. We're going to be having celebration after celebration nothing's guaranteed in this league. That very well may have been it. That may have been your celebration, and it was a pretty lame one. It's the stat about Shai going to the ground all the time is crazy because Trent, I know you played some pickup basketball in your day,
Correct.
and what's crazy in pickup basketball, it's you're not really calling a lot of fouls. Like it has to be blatant for a foul to be called. So there's really no incentive to be flopping around. I mean, what percentage of the time do you think you go to the ground after a shot attempt in pickup basketball?
Yeah, I mean,
I've fallen down maybe twice playing about hundreds of games in my life.
no, that's a good point. And I think there's a clear distinction between going to the lane to make a layup and literally just shooting a jump shot. This guy has fallen 20% of the time just on his freaking jump shots. I mean, the defenders are clearly going straight up and he's down. So to answer your question bluntly, I mean, maybe once a game I'm seeing the floor at all.
Yeah, it's crazy. This whole SGA thing, it's crazy how the entire country is just united, sick of his flopping bullshit. He's one of the more accomplished players in the league currently, but the first thing you think of is the flopping bullshit. I think it kind of undermines his own talent. I don't think he needs to do this. He would be a good player just playing it straight up and not rolling around the floor like a complete clown.
Well, and arguably, he would actually be playing better because I think what he's doing now is kind of changing his play style a little bit. And so, there is an element of watching guys like LeBron, even the Spurs young guys did it in this series. It's fighting through contact and finishing. I think that's underrated. And so, getting to the line, I guess, again, we go back to the analytics thing. I think they're so focused on these analytics of, if we go to the line this many times, we win this percentage. It's absolute bullshit. And it just goes to show you in a game 7, throw analytics out the fucking door. It does not matter. Play the game like a man, like a true player, and Shai proved that he's got a long way to go before he's considered an actual superstar in this league.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to really sell the contact in the way that other guys do. Like, a lot of times, big guys, whether it's the centers in the league or LeBron, because he's big and strong, so they'll take a beating and they won't get calls. So they almost need to flop out of necessity to show the officials, like, dude, I'm getting hacked. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's a relatively small, skinny guard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he doesn't need to exaggerate this. I think if he is getting bumped, if there's contact on the way to the basket, it will be evident. So, yeah, it makes sense if you're so focused on just jumping out of the way, flying out of the way. What about just trying to make the play, finish at the basket? It's like many things. I think it went overboard. It became too much of a focal point of his game.
I agree. And, the Thunder, they're not laughing anymore. So, it really doesn't matter. But other things to talk about in this game,
well, I loved earlier in the series. I feel like SGA was great at the podium.
Yes.
It was after Game 5. He was asked about what Chet Holmgren can do to be better offensively. And SGA just dead serious, just looks at the camera and says, wow. I'm really not sure. which
Brutal.
was pretty awesome.
Brutal response.
I get it. It's a tough question to answer. You can't go up there and say, yeah, he needs to really, back him down low, get in there, blah, 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 finish through contact. But it was just, yeah, I got nothing for you. And then post-game 7 asked about Chet's performance. And I think he was trying to dish out a compliment, but it didn't come off very great. He said, what you saw tonight, this is the worst Chet Holmgren will ever be.
Yeah, he said, this is the worst version of Chet Holmgren that we'll ever see.
Meaning, he's trying to make the point, he's a young ascending player, so he's only going to get better. It's going to happen in time. He's only 23 years old. But it came off like, yeah, this was dog shit. You will never see a worse performance than this guy tonight. It's, I don't know. I think he doesn't really stir up a lot of controversy at the podium, but I think he could still use a little bit more media training.
I am always shocked at how bad these guys are at the media. Just say, you know what? It's a team game. We lost as a team. I'm not going to talk about anything specific. This isn't a time for that. We're going to reflect. We're going to get better next season. It's going to be a great off season. You'll see us here again next year. No, he's like, oh, shit. Yeah, Chet. Oh, man. I don't know if he could have played worse, to be perfectly honest with you. In fact, he played so bad that we will never see him play this bad again. And if we do, he just probably won't be on the team. That might as well have been what he said. Embarrassing. Let me ask you this, Andy. Do you think, I know we said the Thunder's window is closed. What piece do you think they need to just consistently win year after year? Let me preface it with, I have heard some rumors and some talks about a possible Chet plus a couple other players, plus a couple other draft picks for possibly Giannis.
Yeah. I don't think it's a crazy thought. If they really are convinced that it's going to be the Spurs and you're going to have a Wembanyama problem year in, year out, particularly the next 2 to 3 years, I think making a trade for Giannis makes sense. But I'm going to pump the brakes on that, okay? Because I just sat here and talked about the Thunder window's closed. They got their title, but that's it. We all love Wemby. We love this young Spurs team. What they're doing is incredible. It's third year in the league, first time in the playoffs. They're going to the finals. They're favored to win it. I think Wemby's different than all these other stars. But I'm not ready to crown the Spurs either as some long-standing dynasty that can't be knocked off. If people haven't taken notice, that's not really how the NBA is anymore. LeBron, 8 straight finals. Cavs versus Golden State 4 years in a row. You got the Warriors going to 5 straight, 5 and 8 years, 6 and 8 years. It is just, that's not the way the NBA is under the new collective bargaining agreement. It's really hard to keep teams together. We've had a unique champion going back to 2019. We'll have another one coming up. So I'm really just not convinced that the Spurs are about to, just run the Western Conference. And Chet Holmgren actually looks pretty good against most everybody else. I think he has a Wemby problem in particular. So I wouldn't be so quick to blow the whole thing up because Giannis, he's a hell of a player. He's a better player than Chet Holmgren will ever be. But I don't know how many great years Giannis really has left. And the injury concerns are there. Like, when's the last time he even made it through a postseason healthy? And I also just don't know, does Giannis want to be second fiddle? Like, he really, really doesn't. He just doesn't always play nice with others. He likes to be the lead guy. Do you really want to go to Oklahoma City? Like, I know he's been in Milwaukee, but if you leave Milwaukee, you're probably excited to go to, more of a. You're probably expecting to upgrade the city you're in. I'll put it that way. I mean, Oklahoma City is one of the few downgrades, and it's tough because if they win another, I don't know how much credit Giannis will even get for it. It's like, even if he's not the lead dog elsewhere, I still feel like most of the credit will go to just Shai and the Thunder core. So I don't know if Giannis would want it.
Yeah, and I don't know the specifics of Giannis's contract, but I think if you're actually Milwaukee, forget about the Thunder side of it. I think if you're Milwaukee, that trade makes a lot of sense because Giannis has clearly shown that after their championship year, he cannot lead a team on his own to the NBA championship, and they've given him some talent, and they've given him some, marquee players, and to your point, he just doesn't mesh well with those guys. And to your point, in this NBA, I mean, yeah, we talk about, dominating the paint and stuff, but this guy can barely shoot free throws. He can barely shoot any threes. He's no threat. So unless he's got a core of guards around him, he's not going to play well. So I think it would actually be a better outcome for Milwaukee getting Chet and some actual talent than it would be for the Thunder to get Giannis. But great series. But moving on, I mean, this series is going to be fired up. I sat in this lawn chair specifically, actually, and called it in round one that the New York Knicks would beat the Spurs in the NBA championship in Game 7. And Andy, I got to say, I'm sticking with that. I am sticking with that. I know right now they're minus 190, the Spurs are, to win. But, God damn it, give me the Knicks.
Yeah, this can be a hell of a series. And we made finals predictions in different iterations over the course of the year. I picked the Spurs in a lot of them. And our earliest one was in February. I picked the Spurs to beat the Pistons in the finals. The Pistons are not here. It's the Knicks. I think it's going to be a hell of a series. I'm going to stick with my San Antonio pick. I'm going to say they do it in 5 games. But the Knicks absolutely have a chance. This is an exciting NBA Finals matchup. Like, the last few years going in, it's kind of been chalk. Like, last season, OKC, huge favorite over Indiana. The Pacers, on their magic run, end up pushing it to 7 games. It actually ended up being a very entertaining series. But going in, there wasn't a lot of excitement. The year before that, the Celtics, huge favorite over the Dallas Mavericks. Denver, the year before that, big favorite over the Miami Heat. Like, this is the first one in a while where it could really go either way. I think there's a ton of interest from casual viewers. It's the Knicks are one of the classic franchises, and they haven't won in 53 years. And I think people are just amazed by this Victor Wembanyama. So this is going to be one of the more must-see NBA Finals. I predict this will be the best NBA Finals of the last decade.
No, I agree. I think it's going to be absolutely electric. I mean, the matchup that everyone's going to be talking about is Wemby versus Cat. Cat obviously averaging over 20 and 12 in the regular season. He's having an even better playoffs run right now. So Cat has kind of been the X factor for these crazy Knicks. And, you wrote it down in the show notes, and I think it's just an incredibly good point, is these Knicks, none of us 3-4 years ago when they were kind of doing all these crazy things with Julius Randle and trading picks, and people thought maybe they'd get LeBron before he went to I mean, the Knicks have been all over the place for so long. And what do you think of their organization strategy? Because I know probably over the years we've had different thoughts, but what does it all turn into?
Yeah. I mean, the fact that the Knicks are here is stunning because, on the whole, James Dolan, I think the Knicks, at their core, are still a clown show organization. And I think I put in the show notes, they did a lot of dumb shit that just inexplicably worked out. Like, when they were putting together Jalen Brunson's Villanova team, they're like, hey, we're going to be the Nova Knicks. We got Josh Hart. DiVincenzo's here. Okay, now we're going to get Bridges. It's like, oh, it'll be so fun. They all like each other in college. At the surface, that seems so stupid. It's like, dude, in the NCAA, there are about 70 teams in that level. It's a 30-team league. It's how can that possibly be a competitor in the NBA? Somehow it worked. The team has great chemistry. It's no one's selfish. So that's been a stunner. And then I go back to a year ago. They get to the conference finals the first time in about 30 years, inexplicably firing Tom Thibodeau with no plan. They did not have anyone in mind for who they wanted to hire. They're just calling around the rest of the NBA, asking other teams if they can hire their coach. They call the Rockets, like, hey, can we hire Ime Udoka? No? Oh, all right. Hey, can we hire Jason? No, we can't. Oh, yeah, not sure. No plan. They settled on Mike Brown. I think Mike Brown was probably their 9th choice. But the whole crazy thing has just worked out for these New York Knicks. That's why they're an incredible story. I mean, I'll put it this way. This is not your typical NBA Finals team. Usually bad ownership holds you back.
I agree with that, but I think there's always sometimes in these sports playoffs, whether that's baseball, football, basketball, hockey, right, the major four, where sometimes these teams just feel like they're catching lightning in a bottle and kind of running with that momentum. I don't think a better example of that has ever been found than the Knicks this playoff series, because no one expected them to be where they are right now. And they are just playing with so much swagger and confidence and momentum, and the entire city is behind them now. It is just a different feeling. And sometimes in sports, analytics, stats, matchups be damned. There's just an energy behind a team that kind of takes them through those tough nights when they're tired, those extra balls that are going out of bounds, they're getting, the fouls, everything. And I feel like that energy is there for the Knicks right now. That's why I'm sticking with my pick. In fact, it's why I'm wearing so much orange tonight, is because I am so crazy about these Knicks. I love them. I wouldn't be surprised if Jalen Brunson wins NBA championship MVP.
Yeah. Well, I think the Knicks get it done. You would imagine Brunson's going to have a big series. I think the Knicks are in a good spot because, they get to be the underdog now. Like, even if the Knicks lose this NBA Finals, even if they get swept, I don't really think many people are going to dog the Knicks for this. It's like, what a run. You broke through, you got to the finals. No longer a clown show. On the flip side, the Spurs, I mean, this young team in the finals early. You usually don't get to the NBA Finals in your 3rd season. Now the pressure's on them. Like, you saw Wemby's reaction after they knocked off Oklahoma City. That kind of felt like their NBA Finals. They're like, holy crap, we broke through. Guess what? You got a hungry, exciting New York Knicks team on the other side of it. And, if the Spurs are kind of smelling their own farts a little bit too much, had a little bit too much fun in their celebration after the Western Conference Finals, they could find themselves in a world of trouble real quick. So the pressure is flipped. The Knicks, they just kind of seem like, is this one of the great NBA Finals teams I've seen in my life? I hardly feel that's the case. But they just feel like kind of a special group. The comp that's being made frequently is the 2011 Mavericks. Like, that's a team everyone was excited for. They went on a wild run, knocked out crazy teams on the way there, and after they won it, they were never really much of a threat to do it again. It was kind of lightning in a bottle, but it's just one of those runs even neutral fans will never forget. I'm kind of thinking there are these certain teams over the years where they're just known by the team and the year, like 2011 Mavs, the 85 Bears, the 86 Mets, the 26 Knicks. Kind of just sounds right. So that's not really any actual analysis, but kind of seems like a good reason to take all of your money and bet it on the Knicks on Kalshi.
I agree. How do you feel about this? $40,000 is apparently the cheapest floor ticket you can get for the NBA Finals in New York. $4,000 is the cheapest ticket at all that you can get in the Knicks Stadium. New York has been waiting for this for what, 39 years? Something like
27 years.
27 years they've been waiting for this. And the people of New York City are paying up to go to this game. In fact, they're trying to make their net worths low enough so they don't have to pay that new pied-à-terre tax on their second property in New York City. So they're spending it all at Madison Square Garden, straight to James Dolan. And I think this arena, usually if the higher the ticket price, the less energy in the stadium. No, $4,000 tickets in New York City is like $39 tickets in Chicago to go to a Cubs game on a Wednesday. These guys are all rich. 4,000 is actually, compared to net worth that these people have, it's actually one of the lowest percentages in the league for a playoff game. So I think you're going to see some wild, drunk people up in the stands at MSG.
Yeah, I do think MSG will be bumping. And this has always annoyed me over the years when people talk about Madison Square Garden. It's like there's no arena and venue that just kind of like blows itself in sports like MSG. People are like, oh, it's the Mecca. Like, there's no environment like it. Oh my. Like, okay, I will say now, this season, all the Knicks fans at Madison Square Garden are locked in. They love this team. It's exciting, but that environment in Madison Square Garden they're talking about, half the time, that is a crap Knicks team getting buried by a superstar player on the road team and the entire crowd just cheering for the opponent. So when I hear like, oh, there's nothing like it, this environment, it's like, all right, this one time, this playoff run, yes, Madison Square Garden is finally what you told me it was, but the Madison Square Garden rhetoric, like, it's the Mecca of basketball. I'm like, up until now, like, mostly not good basketball, though. Good basketball, mostly played by the visitor.
It's just funny that they call it the Mecca of basketball because really all it is that there's a lot of like outdoor basketball parks in New York City, and so there's just a lot of people in New York City that play basketball.
Yeah.
And so when they talk about New York's the Mecca, Madison Square Garden's the Mecca, it really isn't. I mean, it's really just the Mecca of rich, famous celebrities going to games courtside. I mean, you have obviously LA and the Knicks for the celebrities to go to basketball games, and that's about it. But anyway, going to be a great series. It'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. I think the first two games, I know this might sound cliche, I think the first two games, we're going to find out a lot.
Yeah, we absolutely will. And if I'm the Knicks, well, obviously they won every game. You got to steal this game one because the Knicks, they haven't played in about 10 days. It feels like a lifetime ago when they finished off their sweep against the Cavaliers. Whereas the Spurs, I mean, they just finished off this crazy 7-game battle with OKC. They're going to have some decent rest. It wrapped up on Saturday night. Finals kickoff tonight, which is Wednesday night. But this is the time to pounce. This is the time to pounce if you're the New York Knicks. Catch these San Antonio Spurs off guard. They're a young team. Yeah, they'll be playing at home, but maybe the moment's a little too big for them. In that game one, I mean, you're going to have to get a game on the road. I would do it right here, right now in game one if I'm the Knicks.
Yeah, and the only other thing I want to talk about in this game is Mitchell Robinson, obviously a big rim defender, really good in the paint, gets an off-the-court broken pinky finger. Ari has had surgery. Apparently he's going to play with a brace or at least try to. Is there any info on how this guy broke his finger going into the NBA championship? What the hell was this guy doing?
Yeah, the Knicks, they're tight-lipped about it. Mike Brown saying, yeah, we're not going to get into specifics. It's the fact they put it out there. Noah, this is off the court, non-basketball related. It's like, oh, was he like lifting weights? Like, no, it is. He was evidently doing something fucking stupid. I have no idea what that may be, but I just always assume when something like this happens that a guy was drunk and punched a wall, but I feel like it's some variation of that. The good news is he's Mitchell Robinson, and he's there to basically, play defense and grab rebounds. So people are saying, oh, well, it's going to affect his ability to shoot. It's like, brother, I don't know if it could possibly be worse. You actually ever see Rookie of the Year?
Yeah. It hurts the shoulder?
Yeah, little 12-year-old Cubs fan hurts the shoulder, comes back, he's throwing absolute gas. I don't know, maybe Mitchell Robinson needed to break a pinky finger, and it just unlocks this incredible free throw shooting, because whatever he was doing before didn't work.
It's like maybe the thing, because when you're shooting, the ball's kind of like the last finger it's supposed to leave off is the pointer finger, but maybe Mitchell Robinson's actually been the last finger off the pinky, and because it's not there, he's going to actually have a proper shot now, so it could fix Mitchell Robinson's horrible shooting percentage.
Yeah, there could be something to it. I mean, it's come out that he's expected to play. He needs to. I mean, the Knicks, they're kind of thin at big. They're going to throw a lot of Mitchell Robinson and a lot of Karl-Anthony Towns at Wembanyama. And I put in the show notes, Towns is the X factor. I think he's a better option to throw at Wembanyama than Chet Holmgren was. Because even though Chet, he's big and tall like Wemby is, Cat doesn't have the same height. He's pretty built. I mean, Cat, he's a thick dude. He can bump around down low. He can also kind of take a chunk out of Wemby. Like if he's willing to, kind of get at Wemby, throw some bows around. That's when Wemby was at his worst in the Oklahoma City series, was when he kind of just got tired of getting hacked down low and then wanted to play out on the perimeter. So the thing with Karl-Anthony Towns is, Knicks fans will tell you his weakness is he has a tendency to just pick up a lot of dumb fouls early. So they need to keep Karl-Anthony Towns out of foul trouble. But, we all look back at Karl-Anthony Towns, especially early on in his career. We always thought of him as this, wildly talented but kind of soft player. And, he always is making these wild facial expressions. You're like, is this the guy? But I swear to God, Karl-Anthony Towns is a guy who I trust in big moments. He has turned out to be a big-time playoff performer. So I always think back to that kind of spat on the Minnesota Timberwolves with Jimmy Butler on the team. He didn't like, Towns. He thought he was a soft baby. They're going at each other. Butler, he's known for he's playoff Jimmy. He elevates the playoffs, dragged 2 Heat teams to the finals. It would be funny if after all this, Jimmy Butler does not get his ring and Karl-Anthony Towns gets that championship ring before him.
That would be honestly poetic justice because is there a more annoying and underperforming superstar in the league than Jimmy Butler? I feel like when teams get him, they're always like, hey, look, we got a superstar. And then the rest of the league's like, he's not a superstar. He's an annoying prima donna that's basically been kicked off of 4 teams. He likes to talk about how he didn't get drafted, underdog stories, dad's Michael Jordan. It's actually insufferable to listen to this guy and his off-season antics where he makes coffee now, does weird things with his hair. I don't like Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
And I think he's kind of a baby and he's always bitching about something. And he's always, to your point, he's one of those guys who I feel like he's like, my voice matters off the court. No, it doesn't, Jimmy. Your voice doesn't matter on the court or off the court. You're a piece of shit. And Karl-Anthony Towns, who was the young star on that Minnesota Timberwolves team, and you should have taken him under your wing. Instead, you publicly outed him and basically ruined any chance of Minnesota taking him seriously as a superstar. And Minnesota ended up, I think, just having to get rid of both of them. And so it's good to see Cat actually being taken seriously, being a star of a team, and getting the respect he deserves in New York City. In fact, I just saw a movie. I forget what it was, but Cat actually got a really sick... what do they call it when people famous?
A cameo.
Yeah, he got a sick cameo in the movie, and I was like, you know what? Fucking good for him. He's in New York City. He's making fucking money. He's rich as shit. He's super tall. He's making a lot of money. This is the place that Cat wants to be. It has to be more fun to be on one of these playoff teams in the NBA and that rich and be in a big city like New York. It has to be more fun for these players. If they win the NBA championship, that is going to be one of the best stretches of partying a team has ever done. We talked about the Thunder having the worst celebration of a championship of all time. The 26 Knicks could take it out, go out with Timothy Chalamet, Ben Stiller, I'm sure Will Ferrell will fucking show up and become a Knicks fan somehow. Louis C.K. might come.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be quite the celebration.
Oh, it'll be absolutely incredible. It's in the same way the Thunder didn't really celebrate because they kind of, they're the lamest group of dudes ever. They know they're in Oklahoma City, and they kind of expected to keep winning. It's these Knicks. You're in the Mecca, and you kind of know this will be lightning in a bottle. It's not that the Knicks won't be a good team going forward, but I sort of doubt we'll see the Knicks back in the NBA Finals year after year. I mean, this will be a party for the ages. It will go down as one of the all-timers. Another thing, when I keep thinking about this series, I'm thinking about, the different bigs who are going to be down low. It's going to be all right, what are the matchups? You got Wemby. I keep thinking Isaiah Hartenstein is in this series because he used to play for the Knicks, and he was one of the standout guys. He's one of the only guys on the Thunder besides Shai who really played well in that series. So I think in my head, I keep thinking that, the rest of the Thunder are going home, but he's on to the finals. It's like, all right, Hartenstein played well, so the Spurs are bringing him with them to the finals. That's not how sports work. So That's kind of something I keep messing up mentally. I'm like, all right, wait, who's going to guard Hardenstein? Is he going to be on Wemby? No, he's actually not on either of these teams, but he deserves to be.
So NBA absolutely dominating the news right now, but the NFL is creeping back up, buddy. We're about 100 days out from football, and the Rams have officially decided that they're going back to the Super Bowl, making an all-time blockbuster trade, sending Jared Verse a 2027 first-round pick, a 2028 second-round pick, and a 2029 third-round pick for the man himself, the sack leader, Myles Garrett. So Rams, Cleveland, exchanging players, a lot of draft picks. This puts the Rams in the driver's seat for an NFL championship.
Yeah, the Rams, they're going to win the Super Bowl. They were already one of the favorites, and this is a big-time blockbuster move. They just got the best defensive player in the league. Not only that, they might be getting 2 for 1 because now Aaron Donald, he's doing that thing that's probably just for attention where he's acting like, ooh, I might come out of retirement now. You have Myles Garrett, which sounds exciting now, but just give it about a week and a half. He's going to say, no, I'm retired. It's very important for me to spend time with my family and kids, which is all good and fine, but you didn't have to do the thing where you pretended you were coming back. Either way, this is a great move for the Rams. I can't help but think back to draft night when Sean McVay was pissed they burnt their first-round pick on Ty Simpson. He's like, dude, what the hell? My whole thing is winning right here, right now. We have Stafford. Like, you're using our draft pick on the future? I wonder if he kind of got in GM Les Snead's ear and said, we need some win now moves. I need a splash for this upcoming season because we didn't do enough to make the team better. It's, the Rams, they kind of continue their philosophy, save for using their one pick on Ty Simpson. They just trade away the picks. I mean, F them picks is the Rams way, but it works inexplicably. Any other franchise that say you trade away all your picks, it's probably not going to work out well. The LA Rams run the team the way a fan would in a Madden game, and they just have a great team year in and year out. And I feel like with McVay, he's about 36 years old. He's super young. He could coach for another 60 years if he wanted to. Nope, 30 years. 60 would be crazy. Honestly, he's a healthy guy. He could have signed at 96. Sean McVay coached for another 30 years if he wants to, but he keeps kind of hinting, I might walk away. I don't know. I don't want to do this for that long. I think he's kind of doing the LeBron thing where you just leverage the shit out of your team repeatedly. It's like how LeBron kept signing one-year deals and, when he in Miami and then he came back to Cleveland of like, no, if you don't sign the exact guys I want, I'll walk away. I could just go somewhere else. Sean McVay is like, ooh, if you don't make a big trade for Myles Garrett, I can just go, work on Amazon Prime broadcast and, take home $40 million. I don't have to deal with the stress of being this head coach. So big time splash for the Rams.
All right, I got to touch on that because if you are Sean McVay, this has to be your last season. Go all in, try to win it, convince Aaron Donald to come back this season, and you're going to have one of the best groups of talent in NFL history in one team. Also, take your fucking money, dude. To not coach and get paid $20 million a year to broadcast, you have a great broadcaster's face. Your wife's hot. Like, you are prototypical perfect for broadcasting. Plus, your little voice is kind of funny and kind of cool because it's always raspy, but still high, but kind of low enough to where it matters. And that's what we want to hear. Regarding this trade, though, let's talk about the Cleveland side of this trade. Because I actually think Cleveland gets out pretty good in this trade. And the reason I say that is because if you've watching the Browns the last couple of years, there's been no one more annoying and just tearing up the team's morale than Myles Garrett. I know he set the single-season sack record last year, but it's like every time this team does something and then one of the players makes a mistake, his body language becomes the most annoying body language in the league. He was the highest-paid player on the Browns last year, and he didn't take that leadership role with him. I don't care what anyone says. Just because he was a leader of the defense doesn't mean he was a leader of the team. When the offense wasn't playing well, did he go out there and try to dap up the quarterback and make him feel better? No. He was publicly saying, oh man, we need to get better. Defense can't win championship, blah, 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 blah. I think it's really good that dark cloud is gone from Cleveland. You get a young guy who has a lot of talent. He's never going to be Myles Garrett, but Jared Verse is a good, solid defensive end, really good against the run. And then you have 3 really good draft picks. And what the Browns fans might not understand, too, is that 2028 second-round pick and the 2029 third-round pick, those picks might never happen. Those might be trade baits to actually win now as well. So let's pump the brakes on the Browns just giving up and tanking. I think this actually benefits them more than keeping Myles Garrett.
Yeah, it's crazy. For Myles Garrett, this is just proof that any athlete you should always just take the money now and then just complain about how much you hate your team and city later, because that's exactly what Myles Garrett did. After the 2024 season, it was kind of thought that Garrett and the Browns are at a crossroads. He's got to go. He's up for an extension, but he wants to win. He wants to win. Then Cleveland said, look at all this money, and he said, I'm going to stay. I love Cleveland, actually. It turned out about 2 games into the following season, Garrett realizes he's back on his old complaining about Cleveland ways. He's saying, I kind of want to win. I'm not getting any younger, blah, blah, blah. So take the money, sign the extension, and then complain your way out of town. It's worked for countless NBA stars over the years. Never leave money on the table. Never take a pay cut. Just find a way to force your way there. I mean, I really do feel like going from the Cleveland Browns to Los Angeles Rams is just about the best upgrade possible in every regard. In terms of weather, just how competitive the team is year in, year out. I mean, I feel like if you asked NFL players to to rank kind of 1 through 32 where they'd want to play, the Rams would be somewhere near number 1, and the Browns would be somewhere near number 32. So it is just about the ultimate upgrade right there. I think it's a great move for the Browns, though, because it didn't really make that much sense to hold on to Myles Garrett. I mean, the Browns aren't close to competing for a Super Bowl. They're still trying to figure out quarterback, even though it looks like they have, a future, maybe even Hall of Fame talent in Shedeur Sanders, but they're just not there yet. He's aging. He doesn't want to be there. You get 3 good draft picks out of this, including a first and Jared Verse. Like, Jared Verse is a hell of a player. It's honestly, if that first round pick in 2027 turns into Jared Verse, that's a home run. So, I mean, in that sense, you're kind of getting 2 first round picks in it. I think this makes a world of sense, and maybe a rare win-win. I mean, I really see it from both sides.
Yeah, I think the short-sightedness, I mean, let's be honest here. The Rams, after Stafford retires, and then you assume McVay probably leaves.
Yeah, because he hates Ty Simpson. He wants no part of the post-Stafford era.
They're stuck with a old Devontae Adams. He's probably gone. Puka Nacua is going to be up for a big contract. They might not even want to sign him.
Yeah.
And then you have Myles Garrett, who's then, again, on his last legs, getting even older. His first step's going to be a little bit slower. They're still going to have to pay him $40 million a year. So, the shit that's coming in L.A. is bad. The shit that's coming with the Cleveland Browns, also bad.
Yeah, it's also bad.
But at least the Browns are expecting that, so it won't be much of a letdown. The Rams, though, it's like if they do not win the fucking Super Bowl this year, they are done. And their window closes for the next 15 years if Matthew Stafford leaves.
Yeah, they've got like a year, 2, maybe 3, where they're basically saying, we only care about this little window here. Whatever happens after that, that's what you got to do when you have a great quarterback who's at the end. It's like honestly, when Josh Allen's done in Buffalo, they're probably going to suck. Like, when Mahomes is done in Kansas City, they're probably going to suck. It's like, just, you know what? Worry about that another day.
That's a good point.
So, that's why I won. But the Rams, they're going to be forced to reckon with this NFL season. All right, another blockbuster went down. The Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl this season because they just landed A.J. Brown in a blockbuster trade from the Eagles. In exchange for Brown, the Eagles get a Patriots 2028 first-round pick and a 2027 fifth-rounder.
All right, Andy, I want you to weigh in on this first. You're obviously a Patriots fan. We've been thinking this trade's going to happen for a while now, but I just want your initial reactions on this.
I like it. I think it is the right move. Go out, get a big-time player, get a legit weapon for your young quarterback. A lot of people are saying it might be an overpay, and maybe it is, but you got to give the young quarterback every opportunity to succeed in this league. It's the comparison I have to make right off the bat. It's when the Bills went out and traded for Stephon Diggs to pair him with Josh Allen going into his 3rd season. Mm-hmm. It's, did they win a Super Bowl together? No, but I would do that trade again, 10 times out of 10, because I think having a guy like Diggs in the way that the Patriots are getting A.J. Brown now, it really helped Allen get to the next level as a player. And even though Diggs is gone now, it's, you were still reaping the benefits of it. So this is a big-time move. And, sometimes you gotta overpay. You got a little uncomfortable if you want to bring in big-time players. I mean, the guy can still play. 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons with the Eagles. Whatever happened with him and Jalen Hurts, hey, you don't love it, but you know how it goes with these receivers. They have a shelf life. It's like everyone's going to be happy year 1, year 2, it's all right. Around year 3, everyone hates each other. But you know what? Hey, it's a big-time move.
I will say this. I played quarterback for 10 years of my life, and there's nothing that makes a quarterback happier than getting a dominant number 1 receiver. It makes every single other aspect of being a quarterback easier, and it makes you instantly better having that threat on the outside. And I don't think that can even be calculated in statistics or anything. That confidence that is going to give May, knowing that A.J. Brown, if he's one-on-one, he's slinging it up to him. And 9 times out of 10, A.J. Brown's winning that matchup. That is something that defenses are going to have to prepare for. That's something that head coaches on the other team are going to have to think about. And just the act of them spending time and energy game planning against Brown is going to allow other Patriots players to start upgrading and elevating themselves. And someone like Drake May, to your point, getting him right off the cusp of going to the Super Bowl and then kind of going back down, getting that stardom, and then kind of messing up a little bit in the Super Bowl, not having the best game. This is exactly what they needed, and I think it's a way better fit in New England than just bringing back someone like Stephon Diggs. I do think it's telling, though. We kind of knew it. If they weren't going to bring back Diggs, I thought it was weird that they wouldn't even try to re-sign him, because it was like, okay, I know he wasn't amazing in the playoffs, but Stephon Diggs played really fucking well for the Patriots last season.
Yeah.
I was very confused. Why not just bring him back? But it makes total sense now. Do I think a first-round pick is worth A.J. Brown? Of course I do. And this is one of those conundrums and things I just don't understand in the NFL is the value of what a first-round pick is. Because I feel like the Bills had first-round picks in pick 8 to 15 for about 20 straight years. And I can tell you with utmost confidence and certainty that 90% of those first-round picks were absolute busts. Yeah. So it's like if you can get a guaranteed guy where you can get 5 good years of football out of him, like I think A.J. Brown will give the Patriots, that is a no-brainer situation if you're an NFL GM and head coach. So bravo to the Patriots. I'll tell you what, I don't like it as a Bills fan, and that's very telling because usually someone picks up a receiver, it doesn't make that much of a difference. A.J. Brown's a difference maker. He proved it in Philly. Philly got him. They won a Super Bowl. That's no mistake. It made Devontae Smith better. It made Jalen Hurts better, who honestly is a trash-ass quarterback. A.J. Brown's openly giving interviews now, basically just fully admitting that he hated Jalen Hurts too. So I'm happy for the Patriots getting this. They needed some good news. Maybe they were just kind of waiting for that media cycle of Mike Vrabel to go through before they actually pulled the trigger. I know you theorize it's about cap rules. I think that's bullshit. I think they were waiting for Vrabel to kind of clear out all of his, cheating scandals with Diana Rossini. And, I think Patriots, it's a good move for him.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is. This deal was kind of the worst kept secret in the NFL because there have been rumors that this was going to happen post June 1st, going back to probably early April. And that's the reason both these deals went down yesterday on June 1st, 2 days ago, actually. We had the Myles Garrett blockbuster and the A.J. Brown blockbuster. It's just some cap bullshit. The Eagles, they would take a dead cap hit if they moved A.J. Brown before June 1st, so they wanted to wait. I don't know. If anything, all of this post-June 1 designation, it seems kind of dumb because for months, the Eagles had to act like they weren't trading A.J. Brown, even though they basically had a deal agreed to, and the Patriots had to act like they weren't getting him, even though they essentially did. I feel that with all these cap rules, if it's something that a casual fan can't understand immediately, then it's probably pretty stupid and should be abolished. I mean, why June 1? Like, what is even the thought there? Is it, it's after the start of the optional team activities, so maybe, you cut a guy because he's playing like crap in OTAs? I get like a post-draft designation. Either way, it's a big-time move, and I think A.J. Brown and Drake May are a match made in heaven. I mean, you have a guy, A.J. Brown basically shot his way to Philly because he was mad he wasn't getting the ball enough. He's a receiver who wants to have the ball thrown to him. He's a contested catch guy, and he's going to Drake May, who is an absolute gunslinger. Like, Drake May's strength is that he can fit the ball in a really small window, and there are not a lot of throws that he's afraid to make. So I think he's going to be absolutely feeding A.J. Brown. Look for him to put up a big season statistically. I mean, this seems like the start of another great partnership. As far as what they gave up, I'm with you on the picks. It's like, yeah, you can't just trade away all of your first-round picks year after year, but I've watched the Patriots blow so many first-round picks that it's hard for me to get all that upset about it. I'm like, what will we really turn that player into? Like, also, you make this trade for A.J. Brown because you are expecting to be one of the top contenders in the league. You were trying to be a legit Super Bowl threat. You expect to go on legit playoff runs. And when you do that, you don't get a high pick. Like, if you tell me, yeah, this pick is going to end up being number 6 overall, then, I mean, that's kind of a lot. But the Patriots, you at minimum expect to be a playoff team if you're trading for A.J. Brown. That's going to be in the 20s. So I'm fine with it. And I still listen to a lot of Boston Sports Radio on 98.5 The Sports Hub. And it was hilarious yesterday hearing the reaction to the trade of they got to hit the negative angle. And it was, well, okay, how come you're offering this and no one else is? How come you're offering these picks and nobody else is offering it? And you'll hear that from fans a lot too. So that's basically how acquiring a player works, whether it's via trade or free agency. Usually a player goes to the best offer. So by definition, you are offering something that no other team offered. If you offered something that only, that 20% of the league offered more than, then you're never going to get the player. You have to have the highest offer. So it's, why are you offering a first and no one else is doing it? It's because they want to get the deal done. So
yeah, and that's also the other ignorant part about that statement is it ignores the fact of the chemistry of a team. It's like, why aren't the other 31 teams offering that? Well, maybe the other 31 teams don't need an A.J. Brown right now, and so it doesn't make sense for them. So that's such an ignorant thing to say. That would be like saying, well, why didn't you draft like this guy? It's like, well, to your point, yeah, just stupid. But I think the big story here too is, the Patriots were a big fall-off team for voting this year. And you're rekindling Mike Vrabel and A.J. Brown. That was a match made in heaven. These two love each other more than Vrabel loves Rossini, apparently.
Yeah, I think, just as you said, a lot of people, understandably so, are going to pick the Pats to fall off after last season. Kind of felt like lightning in a bottle, too good to be true. They're going to be playing a tougher schedule, and they got kind of exposed in the Super Bowl. They had some weaknesses on the offensive side. I mean, I am going to zag. I'm saying the Patriots will be right back in the Super Bowl again, because not only have they made big-time improvements on offense, you're bringing in not only A.J. Brown, you also bring in Romeo Doubs. They've bolstered the offensive line. They signed Elijah Vera Tucker. They drafted Caleb Lomu, and nothing was questionable at all about his dance moves on draft night. Not only that, we all like Mike Vrabel as a coach. We didn't know, but it's now come to light that he was not only coaching the Patriots, he was also managing 2 families in the background, one in secret last season. Now, he has no family. So Mike Vrabel can now put his all into this Patriots coaching job. I think we're going to see Mike Vrabel take the next step as a head coach. I mean, the Patriots will be dangerous, so
well, Mike Vrabel is going to be following the natural New England progression, which is focus so much on football and being a football guy that you lose your wife and family and you move on and you become one of the best in your craft. No pun intended. Vrabel's set up for a huge, huge season in his second season as Patriots head coach.
Yeah, he absolutely is. And the last thing I'll say is, now that the deal has just taken place, everyone's excited. A.J. Brown's coming to New England. He's talking about how he grew up a Patriots fan. He had a Tom Brady jersey as a kid. It's, he first day of practice, he said, I won't quite say it's heaven, but it's pretty dang close. I mean, everyone is happy right now. But look at what happened in Philly. I mean, it could not have been a more successful run. It's, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, lifelong friends. They knew each other as kids. It's, Jalen Hurts was the godfather of A.J. Brown's son. And he was good. I mean, they go to, 2 Super Bowls in 4 years. They win one, 4 1,000-yard seasons, 3-time All-Pro. You basically say, wow, that could not be more of a successful 4-year run. And in the end, he hates Jalen Hurts' guts. So even though I just said that I think Drake May is going to be a great match for him, and he's so happy to be a Patriot, give it 2 or 3 years, He will hate Drake May. He will hate being a Patriot. This is going to end terribly. But between now and then, hopefully there'll be some good moments.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at the Patriots' history with receivers, right? You had a guy like Randy Moss going there, and he had this whole persona that he was just a team killer, a cancer, and he got in there, and then he left New England. Like, everyone was like, no one was a greater person and human being than Randy Moss.
It ended badly.
It was unbelievable, Randy Moss. I don't know. I think from the outside, maybe you're just listening to Boston Sports Radio, but it's like he had one of the best seasons of all time.
No, absolutely.
That year. So I'm just saying, I think the Patriots can handle a diva receiver. They're trained and set up for it. Vrabel was a part of those teams. He saw it in real life. I think he can handle it. Plus, in terms of personality-wise, the Eagles head coach, Sirianni, and Mike Vrabel are two different guys. Like, I feel like someone like A.J. Brown feels like he can punk Sirianni on the field. I feel like A.J. Brown has a lot of respect for Mike Vrabel. So I think just that alone, the respect that he has for Mike Vrabel, goes a longer way than most people think.
Yeah, if Mike Vrabel wasn't the coach, I would be probably more worried about the kind of potential personality issues with A.J. Brown. But since they have a rapport, Brown wanted to play Vrabel. I mean, this is basically a Mike Vrabel move. I know he's not the GM, but he basically called the Eagles and made this trade. So
I agree with that.
I feel better about it knowing Mike Vrabel's in place. Big time move for the Patriots. They're not resting on their laurels after a AFC title.
All right, we got to move on from the NFL. The ABS challenge system in the MLB and in minor league baseball, for that fact, is getting out of control. There have been so many mishaps. Things are happening. Umps are calling challenges that aren't even challenges. The ABS system is messing up in the minor leagues. Clearly, balls that were out of the strike zone are being called strikes. This is madness, and should the ABS be stopped immediately?
Yeah, well, when they first introduced the ABS, it said, this kind of feels like a half measure. You got to use it on every pitch. It's worked in some ways, but it's now introduced just another area where the umpires need to make judgment calls, and the umpires are just a bunch of thin-skinned clowns who make every game and every moment about themselves. I'm saying get rid of the umpires completely, have the game 100% called by AI, because these umpires are completely out of control. There were two circumstances in the past 2 weeks that were particularly egregious. So the problem with the ABS is that the challenge symbol is to tap your helmet right after the pitch. But, I mean, there are a few issues with that. One, I feel like, guys, when you're a batter, you have your little routine. You like to, guys to pass, they would, undo the batting gloves, put them back on. It used to be pretty common for guys to just kind of naturally, put their hand on their helmet. So some guys are having to stop themselves. Like, oh, wait, no, I'm not challenging. I was going to do that by instinct. It's like, it's like scratch an itch on your arm. So we had an instance where in the Mets versus Tigers game, Brett Beatty for the Mets, that definitely used to be his thing. He definitely used to tap his head naturally, but he has to remind himself he can't be tapping the head. So, pitch comes in, it's called a strike, it's borderline. He kind of puts one hand up, but then stops because he says, no, actually, I can't touch my head. The ump says, challenge. Brett Beatty turns to him and says, no, I didn't challenge. Says, well, how does it challenge? Mets manager Carlos Mendoza comes out. He says, hey, arguing with the ump, saying, he didn't touch the head, though. He's like, I thought he touched it. I mean, makes the Mets burn a challenge when the guy didn't actually challenge. Beatty, he's still talking to the umpire. He's telling him, I didn't touch my helmet, though. I didn't touch it. The ump turns to him and says, if you don't stop right now, I'm going to run you from the game. It is just terrible umpiring. And then another instance we're having is that, another issue in it is that the players, they have to challenge right away. Now, how do we define right away? We don't. It's just a complete judgment call left to the umpires on the field. So we're having instances where the umpire is making a delayed strike call, which you always hate that. I mean, even pre-ABS, you cannot stand a late strike call. Batters are challenging immediately. The ump is saying, nope, it's too late. The only thing that was too late is the umpire's strike call. So we had an incident in the Pirates game versus the Minnesota Twins over the weekend. Brandon Lau's hitting for the Pirates. It is a late strike call on a pitch outside the strike zone, immediately goes to the head. I mean, it is strike, boom. There is no delay in between the strike call and going on the helmet. Says, no, too late. Sorry, it's too late. And, Brandon Lau can't believe it. The Pirates manager comes out and says, what, he can't use a challenge? I don't get it. Lau ends up flying out, and he just yells out loud, not directly to the umpire, just in frustration yells, fuck! Classic baseball talk. Classic baseball reaction. The first base umpire takes it in his own hands, ejects Lau from the game for yelling in frustration after flying out. I mean, it is just the ABS was put in place so the umpires would have their hands on less of the outcomes here. And they've just found a way to ruin it and make it all about themselves. Like, I know calling balls and strikes is a tough job. You're not going to get everything right. But these two instances I just laid out, I believe would be grounds for public execution.
I agree. And we talked about this before, but either you got to go every single pitch is on the ABS or every single pitch is not on ABS. This whole challenge, the strike thing, is out of control because if you're assuming that a challenge is like, okay, we challenge it, it goes to an AI system that we have that is always right. It's like, why don't we just do that for every pitch then? I mean, if you're admitting that the ABS is better than the umpire by saying a challenge gets decided by the ABS, and it's like the ultimate tier of what is considered a strike and not, to not have that on every pitch just seems ridiculous. And we all see it on the broadcast every pitch anyway, so it couldn't be a delay at all of the game. I mean, in fact, it would seem pretty easy. I feel like the Jumbotron could probably be attached to it. It flashes green for strike, red for ball, or something of the sorts. They could even make fun with it. I agree with you, though. It's like I was always a big proponent of having the human element in the baseball game, letting these umps call the game. It was always a part of the game. I was a catcher growing up, so there was a lot of things nuanced behind the scenes that a catcher could do to usually help influence. You get a good relationship with the umpire. It's a very human thing. That's all dead anyway. People aren't having relationships with anyone. No one wants to talk to each other. Let's just get AI to just call everything in baseball or not. But we need to decide, and I think this season needs to be the last one where we're tiptoeing, putting our feet in the sand, putting our feet in the water, and then putting them out, putting them in the water, putting them out. Because to your point, the umps have ruined everything once again. And so either eliminate umps altogether, or let's keep them and just let them do the human element, and then that's just a part of the game forever.
Yeah, I think really the only reason they're doing this half measure of just giving teams a few challenges a game and not using every pitch is that umpires are sensitive of AI replacing their job, and they just want to appease kind of the umpires union, who of course they don't want automatic balls and strikes. I mean, it is taking their jobs away, but it's just funny because I think of most people who work in corporate America and know that eventually AI will take their job away. Imagine if at your workplace the office said, okay, you know what, every manager can use AI, but we're going to cap it at half an hour a day, just because we don't want it to fully replace, the lower level employees who are rolling up to that manager. You would never do it. You would just say, oh yeah, we're going all the way in on AI, and boom, yeah, your last day is Friday. Okay, it's kind of a wild move. So these umps, it is just, they're the worst, man. Nothing worse than an ump show.
Nothing worse than when you notice umpires or refs in games.
You really don't. Exactly. When you know the name, that's the worst.
Usually people say like a great umpire, a great referee in basketball, whatever. It's like having a really good server at a dinner restaurant. You don't notice them. You just don't notice them. And I know that sounds weird or counterintuitive, but you don't notice them because they're doing their job so well that it's not even a thought in your head. And so, when you watch someone, you're like, man, they just make it look easy. And you're like, I could do that. And then you go try to do it, and you're like, holy shit, this is hard. Those are the best people at their professions. Umpires and referees, same thing. When you don't notice them, those are the best refs and umpires.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. It's thankless work, but that's
what you sign up for.
Yeah. It comes with the territory. All right, one more baseball thing we got to hit on. The Red Sox, they're a dumpster fire. We talked about them a bit this season. They can't score any runs. They fired Alex Cora in late April. And it's been a topic that the baseball world is coming to realize. Red Sox general manager Craig Breslow is a weird freak. This guy, he went to Yale. He's pretty much a rocket scientist, but he's one of those people who's such a technical genius, he can't actually talk like a person. He's pretty much the closest thing we have to AI as a guy. And there's some concern now within the Red Sox organization. In an article written by Tim Healy, he mentioned that some within the organization feel that Breslow would benefit from having an interpreter of sorts to help him talk to people, those being players or really members of other organizations when kind of negotiating, trades. And what's funny is you might hear that and think, oh, interpret. Oh, what's his first language? No, he speaks English. He speaks English. He just doesn't sound like a regular freaking person. And this is where I'm at. If you get to the point where you're president of baseball operations, you're saying he might need an interpreter. I think you just need someone new for the job, because the team's terrible. This guy can't convey a message to players. It is just, we've gone too far with the Yale analytics freaks. I mean, let's get some baseball people back in there.
Yeah, we had a really old guy. He was one of the assistant coaches at our high school team. I think he was like a volunteer. I mean, but he was old and he was large. But he was just like, he was a baseball guy. And in terms of someone who needed translation, this guy also was one of them. He would always be like, he would always carry around a bag of peanuts. And he would go up to people on the team and he would be like, "You guys want some peanuts?" But he would always say it like, "You guys want some peanuts?"
Ooh.
And unfortunately, Coach Boone was his name. He didn't realize that he was actually saying the word penis every time. So it was a running joke amongst the entire school. He would go up to kids and just go, "You guys want some peanuts?" And he would just hold up the bag of peanuts. And, now that I'm older, I don't know. He might have actually known exactly what he was saying and just used the bag more as a decoy than anything. But I think this is kind of one of those situations. I feel like the guy knows. He just is trying to not communicate because he knows his job is on the line. And so if he can just have the excuse like, that's how I talk, it's like, then no one will say anything. So I think it's a Coach Boone situation.
Yeah. Kind of legendary move. Also, classic Coach Boone behavior right there.
Hey, you want some penis?
Wild move. But,
yes, Coach, we want some penis. Yeah.
But yeah, just example, 37 just today that analytics are ruining sports.
All right, so I'm very into our last topic here.
Yeah.
I think this is an incredible story, and it just shows the physical fitness of our commander-in-chief is out of control. Andy, I want you to give us the stats, and then I want you to compare the stats of our commander-in-chief to someone that other people would align with as being a physical freak in the NFL.
Yeah.
Give us the stats.
Absolutely. So this is coming from White House doctors. Donald Trump, his official measurables. He's 6'3", pretty good stature.
Mm-hmm.
Tip of the scales at 224 pounds.
Mean.
4.8% body fat.
Great.
Okay.
Great percent.
Pretty insane. Now we're going to do kind of the game, it's kind of like the, like who's the mystery man?
Right.
The mystery man on the other side. On the other side, similar measurables. Also 6'3", 230 pounds. Also 4.8% body fat.
So fatter than Donald Trump.
Yeah, he's got 6 extra lbs.
Okay, so let me guess, because I know you actually didn't tell me this. It's got to be an offensive lineman. I'm thinking maybe Jake Long back in the day.
No, it is on offense though. Offensive player.
Oh, Taylor Lewan.
Nope. Yeah, nope. He is an offensive lineman. So.
Will Compton.
Nope. I think he played defense.
Right,
I don't know. I don't remember him playing. We're talking about now Steelers receiver DK Metcalf, the man himself, known for his shredded physique. He and Donald Trump, near identical measurables. And I think that's just proof right there that when that's kind of the physical composition of your commander-in-chief, nobody stands a chance against the United States in combat. I mean, people ask, why are we in Iran right now? Because we can be.
Yeah.
Because we can be. We have 80-year-old politicians who are in peak physical shape in the States. It's incredible.
No, it's just incredible. And, because he got RFK on his team, obviously Donald Trump has been using every single peptide known to man. And so this is just a great story seeing the results of what retatrutide, semaglutides, and tirzepatide can do for a president. And I think we're just creating absolute war machines. I mean, I don't know if you saw also the stats for Pete Hegseth came out, and he is 6'6", 200 pounds, and negative 2% body fat, which is literally incredible. Honestly, almost unbelievable how in shape Pete Hegseth is. But this just sends signals to people that are dictators across the world that you're not going to mess with the fucking United States. Our president is jacked, he's ripped, And good luck if you're going in for a handshake with him, because if you don't think that this guy is going to take your hand, almost rip it out of your wrist socket, and pull you towards him, you're a joke. Donald Trump commands a room. He commands an entire world. This guy is in peak physical fitness. And honestly, thank you and shout out to the White House doctors for actually sharing the information publicly, because before, I never knew what Joe Biden was. I never knew what Barack Obama was. I didn't care. But when you have stats like this, you have to share it to the public.
Yeah, some people were skeptical when the numbers first came out, but honestly, take one look at the guy, and it's clear he's in this condition that they're describing. 4.8% body fat. I'm surprised it's even that high. Also, this is kind of like a reverse supersize me. Like, if you ever see that propaganda-ridden film from about 20 years ago, where
Morgan Spurlock
ate only McDonald's for about a month, and it talked about all these health issues he was having. Well, I've got a guy right here who has just about the most stressful job on the planet, eating only McDonald's, and he's in peak physical condition. He's in better shape than maybe the most in shape NFL player we have right now.
Yeah.
So,
and it makes a lot of sense because Metcalf has come out and said he only eats Skittles and candy bars, and it makes a lot of sense. It's like, yeah, okay, sure. Do you quote unquote look just by the eyes like you're in shape? Yes. Are you actually healthy though? Have you actually been tested by the best doctors in the world? No. And Donald Trump has. Honestly, I know a lot of people on this show probably think we're Trump supporters, but we're not. We are middle of the line. We call it as we see it. And when I see a report like this come out, I am proud to be an American.
Yeah, and I know there are term limits, but just based on physical condition alone, he looks like he could do it for another 10 or 12 years.
Yeah, well, let me ask you this, Andy. Where is it written down that there are term limits?
I don't know if it is written down.
It's an unwritten rule by George Washington. DJT could possibly be our president for the next 10, 12 years.
Hey, that's what we love most about being.
That's why I love getting the facts from the White House doctors.
You gotta.
It makes a lot of sense, and just by the eye, you can tell that it's real. So, I'm all in on it. In all reality, though, this guy clearly probably needs to shed a couple lbs. It is surprising at his current weight and fatness that he actually is able to stay awake as much as he does.
Right.
Because I feel like usually people of his stature have terrible narcolepsy. And I can't imagine Donald Trump admitting to anyone that he uses a, what are those things called when you sleep with it on your nose?
Oh, the a CPAP machine?
Yeah, there's no way Donald Trump's admitting that he uses a CPAP machine.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. I mean, given his age and incredibly poor diet, I'm actually surprised he has this much energy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, he's a ball. Every time he's at the podium, he's a ball of energy. Compared to Biden at the end, he was like kind of falling asleep. Trump, I mean, he's the energy to respond to everything. So and kind of in the same way DK Metcalf, like he could just eat Skittles and he's completely ripped, looks like the best athlete you've ever seen. Donald Trump might just be kind of built different in that regard.
And he's got some super sperm too, because Barron is like 6'12", and he honestly is kind of looking like a Russian model.
Yeah. So.
And one of the best day traders of all time as well.
Also, remember when everyone was just like, yeah, the Barron's on the spectrum, just based on like no actual information? They're like, yeah. I feel like that was kind of unfair.
That was totally unfair.
I feel like he's like a pretty high functioning kid. He can open and close his laptop on command.
You know what else is annoying? That people say Elon's on the spectrum. It's like, there's no way he's on the spectrum. Even though every time he goes into public and gets on camera, he starts just spinning 360 degrees slowly, looking at the sky, because he couldn't be less paying attention to what's actually going on. But no, I think we finished the show off correctly. I think we did a full circle where we talk about what's going to happen in the NBA championship, and then we end with Barron Trump having autism. That's lawn chair sports, ladies and gentlemen. If that's not a full microcosm of what we do out here, then you haven't been watching. And this is episode 53, so You're not watching.
No.
Good thing I brought out the light. I was anticipating this dark moment, so I think we did it.
I think we got it in.
Yeah. I think we got it in. So
great.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Click on there, comment, share it with your friends. We're just out here for the people. And current update on followers. We have now risen on Instagram to 8,200 followers on
Nice.
Instagram, 6,000 followers on Facebook. That means Meta alone, we're right at about the 14,000 mark. TikTok, we have gotten a big boost lately. We're almost at 5,000 followers on there. So you combine those all together, we're at about 21,000 total viewers, subscribers. Pretty good for about 8 months of work.
Wow. I mean, this is a freight train that has left the station.
I mean,
It will not be stopped.
I don't know if TikTok and Instagram are just saying this because it makes you want to do more content, and which it probably is because they are really masters of this. But according to their notifications and analytics, we're outperforming 95% of the people in our follower count in terms of views on videos as well. Even YouTube, where we don't have a lot of subscribers, they tell me that we're also outperforming like 99% of podcasts in our genre in terms of views. So I don't know what that means, but I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean, if that's true, then I mean,
No, it's actually true.
the rest of you guys. I mean, that's tough.
Scrubs.
That's a bad luck. You know what's funny? I got a notification on my phone from Facebook this morning, and I thought it was pretty hilarious. It was like,
Pardon my take.
you follow Lawn Chair Sports.
Oh.
Click here, like if you're interested in following other similar creators. So I was like, oh, I was curious. I'm like, what are similar creators to us?
Yeah.
They weren't actually similar creators. They were just things that I've clicked on. I was dying because the first one on the list, John Gruden.
Tampa guy.
Hey,
Tampa guy.
Tampa guy, been canceled. So hey,
I applied
he
for
mixes it up a little bit.
I applied for that Barstool job when they had like a surprise opening for being like basically John Gruden's personal assistant in Tampa.
If you were John
Didn't
Gruden's
even get a
Frankie,
call back.
that would be crazy.
I don't know. I thought it would have been good.
No, that'd be
they,
insane.
They fucked up, man. They brought in some loser. Honestly, I feel like Barstool's on the way down. Not to talk Barstool, but let's just do it real quick.
Sure.
I've been watching Pardon My Take lately, and it's getting insufferable. They have this guy named Zach now. I don't know if you know
I've
him.
seen Zach.
I know that we kind of do characters and stuff, but this guy is clearly just doing a character. But his character is really annoying. I don't like his character. And Big Cat has now just become such a fucking pussy loser. I can't even listen to him anymore. I think PMT knows that too. I think that's why PMT is trying to like start other shows and stuff because he just can't stand him. PMT's a legit guy. Big Cat's a fucking loser at this point. I know he's sold out. I know he got the money. I know they're on they got the Netflix deal. I know they got a lot of money through the buyback and everything. I'm sure Portnoy took care of Big Cat and everything. I feel like though PMT is the most unsung hero of that show ever because he's way funnier than Big Cat.
Oh, he never changed. Like he's been the same guy for all these years. Big Cat, it's like I know there's a real guy still
Grew
in
up
there.
in Massachusetts too.
Oh,
like,
that
his
is
whole
true.
story's out of control.
Right, the whole it's like that's what I'm confused about. I'm like, wait, if he's a fake Chicago fan, couldn't they have just actually just found a Chicago fan? I feel like there are plenty of them in existence. It's not like it's like some market that doesn't have any fans. Like there are plenty of people like Chicago, but
yeah.
Also, I feel like he's just too. It's like he's too worried about getting canceled. It's like I know there's like a funny, like cool drinking buddy in there somewhere. It's just like on camera, he's just.
Well, he just appeases everyone. And also, what was I going to say? Okay, no, I think the arc of Big Cat's very similar to the arc of like Jimmy Fallon. At the beginning, when Jimmy Fallon was like coming out with his nighttime right off of SNL, fucking hilarious, man. Everyone loved him. He was a partier. And then he gets that big corporate money, and he just laughed at everyone's joke who came on. I mean, they could say the worst joke ever, and there was just a complete reel on YouTube of like 30 straight minutes of Jimmy Fallon laughing disproportionate to the joke that was told for like 30 straight minutes. That's where I am with Big Cat now because he'll be like, Zach, tell the guest that we have on that's super famous and doesn't care about this that you show up late to work, and then I'll laugh at their response. And then he's like, I'm Zach, and I try to go to work on time, but I have 5 alarms and can't wake up. And then you see PMT that's why he wears the sunglasses, I think, because he's like, I can't fucking take this. He's like, I'll do it for a fucking check, of course. Like, I'll do anything for the check that they're making, but it's getting insufferable. And I don't see Barstool, honestly, making it past the next 5 years. I think there's a big niche in the market for real, raw fucking content again, man.
Yeah. So
like and fucking subscribe because Lawn Chair Sports is going to fucking eat Barstool's lunch. And you know what? Fuck Zach from PMT. Fuck Big Cat. PMT, you're a fucking goat. I don't want to fucking work for Barstool anymore. Fuck Barstool. Fuck Dave Portnoy for selling out. You moved to Florida and you're a little bitch in the Keys now. Fuck you. You stop trying. You don't even do pizza reviews anymore. Your whole company is fucking tanking and you hire the worst, most fucking boring people. You have completely removed yourself from quote unquote the common man that you started on, and you have come to some corporate bullshit. So either hire us or go fuck yourself, Dave.
Yeah, that's pretty well said.
All right. Anyway, guys, like and subscribe. Thank you.